Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling Review Series for the 5th of, 5th of February, 1983. Wish it was still the 2000s and there was Mid Atlantic Wrestling and actual wrestling that made sense, but we are not in that place here in 2021 by any stretch of the imagination. But we open with a match joined in progress with Greg Valentine in that role. And we get about 61 of these overall in general. The champ is the name of the individual that Greg Valentine has joined in progress fighting. And not exactly your best series of matches there. Going forward, though, there is a gap in February, so we're going to give you what we can. This is about 61 of these available. The champ tips Valentine off a little bit. Basic maneuvers along the way, nothing necessarily worth writing home about in terms of consistency, sincerity, and all of those things, but it's there, and the champ is brawling, and is a masked individual brawling with Valentine throughout. Valentine, of course, a multi-time, almost 6-month, almost half-year U.S. champion at this point, and the champ gets a suplex off basic maneuvers. And speaking of new champs, Paul Jones is your new Mid-Atlantic champion, defeating, or actually Dory Funk is your new Mid-Atlantic champion, defeating Jack Briscoe along the way. Jones is now the advisor slash beneficiary of the advisory capacity to Funk. So Paul Jones starting to slow down here in 1983. Roddy Piper is in there with Slater and Mad Dog Lane. They kind of continuing there. Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes teaming up. Joined in progress once again. I'm not a fan of the joined in progress arena matches just because I'm a match completist. Dusty Rhodes, though, as his tag team partner, probably drew a good bit at whatever arena they were at. And Piper and Rhodes, big surprise, getting a victory here, leading to Piper also wanting to get more of Dick Slater for his trouble. We kind of go forward in there, and you know, Piper and Slater going at it quite a bit, and the nature of that, which eventually leads to the furthering of the Valentine deal. Valentine also runs in, aligned with Slater now. Valentine has aligned with a bunch of people over the several years that things continue to be a matter here. Basically, Piper says that it's okay that he's fined, even though Slater breaks every rule in the book. We move to in a promo, that is. We move to the eventual Mid Atlantic Tag Team Champions once again. Steamboat and Youngblood. They're facing off against Rick Harris and Ken Timms. Steamboat and Harris continue to be in the pursuit of Slaughter and Kernoodle, going on quite a bit there. Drop kick by Youngblood. Youngblood back after several weeks on the shelf with the injury at the hands of Slaughter and Kernoodle. Ken Timms continues to be a pretty consistent talent, but bouncing around a good bit there. Steamboat comes back in, uses some collegiate wrestling style, as does Youngblood. Of course, Steamboat kind of I wouldn't say necessarily fully better, but certainly more advantageously motivated individual here. And Steamboat stays on the arm, manages to get everything he can out of every maneuver. Backbreakers along the way and body slams. Tim spends the majority of the match in the ring. Backbreaker and other basic maneuvers along the way. And double chop by the babyface tandem and a splash by Youngblood. The promise that they want to get the hands on Slaughter and Kernoodle continues to be a thing. We go back to the main arenas, and there is a kind of a bit of a brawl there. And ultimately, the arena shows kind of killing time, for lack of better terms. We go into the Briscoe and Funk title change. Of course, Dory Funk Jr. and Jack Briscoe, both former NWA champions, so feuding over the um, Mid Atlantic Championship and the $100,000 challenge put out by Funk. Pretty big deal here in 1983. Months away from Starrcade, months away from a major deal, and Paul Jones taking a little bit of credit in helping Funk retain the title. We go back to the spinning toe hold of Dory Funk Jr., and once again, the highlights of that match, we do see Funk successful. Funk then coming out as your new Mid-Atlantic champion. He is in a, regular enhancement match here. We move forward. Tommy Gilbert and Dory Funk Jr. is the match of the moment, kind of giving Tommy Gilbert a little bit of shine, but also Funk manages to roll over onto things a little bit here and doesn't get nearly everything he wants out of things, but does get something out of it as we kind of move into the nature of things there. Side headlock takeover and some basic maneuvers. Gilbert managing to hang with Funk, although Gilbert not here too terribly long, probably out within a matter of a few weeks. Hanging vertical suplex, and Dory Funk gets the victory off the hanging vertical suplex. Issues between Carnoodle and Private Nelson and Sergeant Slaughter. Slaughter upset that his hat has been destroyed. Of course, the inference is that the destroyers of the hat are Steamboat and Youngblood. Greg Valentine says he's been the U.S. champion for 6 months. He likes the challenge, likes to be the champion, and Dick Slater out there furthering his alliance with Greg Valentine and kind of hinting at them being the Dirty Dozen. Also, the one-man gang part of that trio now, and Mike Davis and the gang going at it. Of course, the furthering of the battles between Jimmy Valiant, who's in and out of the territory, and the one-man gang over the Body Slam Challenge. Sir Oliver Humperdinck also talking around here. Double-fisted choke, and then the splash from the gang in pretty consistent control. Briscoe talking about his dissatisfaction with losing to Funk and wanting that championship back. Mike Rotundo still your television champion and wanting to take on all comers, wanting to take Slater and others out. Continuation of the promos that promote the nature of Slater and, Youngblood and Steamboat against Slaughter and Carnoodle coming forward. Basic promos seems a little forced. Ricky Steamboat's still not a major guy for a promo, but then we see the ending, the last 3 guys, in an 18-man arena show battle royal, eventually won by Mike Rotundo, your television champion, a guy who really they're pushing and had the advancement for him has been pretty consistent there. Then we go back to the arena with a, for lack of a better term, a arena-style deal there. Rotundo winning the Battle Royal and then faces off against Frank Monty. Breaks down the leg, and the idea, the inference is that maybe Rotundo could face off against Ric Flair as the world champion, but also more locally the Mid-Atlantic champion. Rotundo using a collegiate style, stays on both the legs and the front facelock, front chancery of his adversary here. Lots of kind of go behind and brawl. Frank Monty has a good look to him, but never really hits a main event stride there. Takedowns and go behinds and leg crimps by Rotundo there, and managing to get the body slam where he can. Jimmy Valiant promising to get rid of the one-man gang, also promising to get rid of eventual newcomer Terry Funk. Funk doesn't strike me as a guy that stays around very long. Funk cuts an amazing promo where he talks about to close the program, where he talks about the fact, or come close to closing the program, where he talks about the fact where men are men and women are men in New York City. So a Valiant promo or program with Terry Funk forthcoming, and we close on that note. We'll be back with more right after this.